Looking at the Midwest, one of the 1v2 matchups, Houston snuck past Purdue. They were lucky they weren't called for a push off on that second to last offensive possession, but then Sampson gets in his bag, draws up an
Wow, man.
absolute incredible inbound play for the game winner. Tennessee, meanwhile, they finally got right against Kentucky. They absolutely dog walked the Cats there. Now they're back to the Elite Eight for the second straight year under Rick Barnes. Kai, let me ask you this. Is it as simple in terms of a handicap as Sampson's a better coach than Barnes? I don't think anyone's going to argue otherwise. But Barnes is, back to the second weekend, make a deep run for the second straight year. He's kind of quieted some of those issues in terms of his track record in March. Where do you come down on this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think Rick Barnes is a good coach, but yeah, Kelvin Sampson is a better coach. That blob was incredible. Just a masterclass in coaching there at the end of the game. Awesome game. Two very physical teams, two teams that passed the get off the bus test. I think you can bother Tennessee a bit with pressure, and Houston's big athletic perimeter. That's going to be a new challenge for Ziegler. Now, Ziegler, he's a fifth year senior. He's fantastic. He can maybe handle it, but he is 5'9". He's not immune to turnover issues, and Houston is probably the best in the business in scaring you as a ball handler. The balls are all susceptible on the glass. That's obviously Houston's MO. And you can't score inside against either team, so it comes down to who's the better outside shooting team. Houston's the best outside shooting team in the country. That's kind of a little known fact. They don't shoot a ton of threes, but man, they make them at a high clip. So Houston, better shooting team, better with the ball, better on the glass. And you have the Sampson factor, relatively short spread. I like Houston minus 3.5 here.
I'm actually going to go Oppo here. I'm going to go Tennessee on the money line. I called for the Vols to win this region, make it to the Final Four earlier in our March Madness coverage. So I'm going to stick with it because since February 1st, Tennessee has been one of the most balanced teams in the country. 11th in Torvik offense, 10th in defense, and their guard play has really been elevated at the right time. Ziegler, as you mentioned, is someone who is undersized and sometimes can struggle with that on-ball pressure, but he's been such a stat sheet stuffer. He's been able to get to the line more often during this run, really dating back to the SEC tournament. He's been able to facilitate for his teammates. He's coming off a Tennessee game. And Lanier is the player that was, had that high ceiling at the midseason mark. He went into a slump, and we all kind of questioned how far this Tennessee offense could go unless he got his shooting stroke and confidence back. Well, it's back. I mean, at this point, he's got 3 games in this tournament run. He's scored north of 20 in 2 of them. I see the offense being enough to hang around. And I still have my questions when you look at the way that Houston has allowed teams to hang around with them during their run
Mhm.
here in March Madness. The Zags, essentially, if they'd been able to get off a shot on that final possession, could have taken them to overtime. Obviously, they were fortunate not to have an offensive foul whistle against Purdue. Both of those teams, while I think there's certainly upside on the Zags offense, and Purdue had those, top 2 players in Braden Smith, and everything they do in the pick and roll game to be able to take advantage certainly of things on the offensive end. It's still, when you compare them to Tennessee, I think Tennessee is a higher upside and an opportunity to win a rock fight. If this game is played in the high
Mhm.
50s or low 60s, that's Tennessee's bread and butter. I think Houston can slow games down and grind teams, down and kind of take them out of what they want to do in transition and, potentially what they want to do in a helter-skelter kind of game. Tennessee's comfortable with this brand of basketball. And I think at some point in this chalk madness, we have to have somebody score an upset. So I'm going to go with Tennessee here.